Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our presentation, our awards presentation for Airborne. So we'll get to showing you some amazing photography in just a moment, and I'm going to be joined by Gail Bisson, one of the judges, of course, for the Wild Art competition, who helped out with the judging for Airborne. So we'll be talking to Gail in just a moment and sharing all these amazing pictures and talking to some of our winners right after the intro. Hello, Gail.
Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Very well.
Good. Airborne.
Wow.
Amazing, wasn't it? Again.
Yeah. I mean, every category, every time I judge, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the standard is just incredible, and it's so difficult. As we keep saying, every month we do these presentations, to even get down to a top 100 is really tough. So, you know, if people make top 100, you're doing really well. But then sort of whittling it down and trying to find a winner out of that lot is is really hard. But you know, there has to be a winner, of course, and we've got a few lined up for everybody. You know, as we go through the evening. But before we get started, I just thought I'd deal with a few little bits of housekeeping with everybody. So color, we finished the judging on color, so hopefully I'm going to get the top 100 out this coming week. Obviously I've got to do all these certificates and build the web page and what have you, so I'll do my best to get that done this week, so look out for that. There's some you know, the entries in that again were simply amazing, so so keep your eyes out. I'll send everybody an email, put some stuff on social media when that's out, so look out for that. Tiny, obviously that closed at the end of July, so the judging is underway for that, so Michael Sneddick and his team on that one are busy looking through those entries, so I'll keep you updated as we go through that process. And obviously abstracts is our category for August, so don't forget to enter that. That always throws up some amazing images, some really artistic stuff, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you have for us this year in abstracts again. So that closes at the end of August. The latest podcast episode Josh and I did was with Henley Spears, where we talked about underwater photography, obviously Henley being an underwater specialist. So go and check that out if you haven't already listened to it. You can get it on the Wild Art website. If you go to the community tab and drop down to the podcast, you know, click on that, then you'll see that that podcast episode. You can also get it on sort of all the major podcast platforms like Spotify and Google and iTunes or whatever it's called now. So yeah, go and have a listen to that. We had a really good chat with Henley. That was really interesting. So I think that's it. So Gail, I mean, as I said, the entries were just simply fantastic, and we've got some incredible stuff to show everybody. I mean, we were saying, we were chatting off air, weren't we, about how it almost makes us, well, I was saying it makes me sick with jealousy seeing some of these things coming in, and you wonder how you can keep up with all this fantastic imagery and, you know, with your own photography.
No, I mean, you're always wavering between being inspired and just literally like, how can I even be here judging these pictures when I don't think I could ever get anything so good? So I suffer from imposter syndrome sometimes when I'm judging these, because I think, who am I to judge these? Because they're so good. Like, there's so many good pictures.
You know, I think, well, you're being too modest, Gail. I mean, you know, you've got a very good record in competitions yourself.
I know, but still, like when you see some of the artistic side of it, it's just my left brain is not as developed as all these winning photographers.
Well, I know what
I'm
you mean.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, I think I come up with some artistic stuff sometimes. Then you see some of these images and you just go, "Ah, I've got a way to go yet."
Yeah, so do I. So do I. But I do find it fun because I mean, if I wasn't involved with wild art, I think I wouldn't be trying the artsy stuff, and it is frustrating because it's like doing panoramas or slow, for every one that you might like a little bit, 300 end up in the trash bin. And that's hard when you go from, okay, well, if you take a regular shot of whatever it is without, maybe a bit of backlight, maybe a flight shot. I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. But this is it's hard. It's really hard. There's
Yeah,
no,
when the keeper rate isn't as good as it
yeah,
is when you're doing the other stuff. Yeah, I
it can get a
completely
bit
get it.
frustrating too. But I find I learn a lot, especially from finding out how our winners get the picture. Because I mean, some of this stuff, I mean, I wouldn't even have thought of doing, like like Simone's picture with that spider where well she flipped one of the lenses inside the barrel of
Yeah,
like, who thinks of stuff like that? Like, I mean,
exactly. We were talking about that actually.
like it,
A couple of days ago with some of the other judges and saying how inventive that is. It's just
I know. And how
incredible.
does it like, and I mean, I wouldn't even know how to take my lens apart, but then I would never do it. Well, I think she said it was a secondhand one and it wasn't very expensive.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even know where to start. Anyway, everybody has such cool ideas and really sound technical knowledge that they put to artistic use. So, I mean, I'm okay on the technical side, but it's the artistic side. And but you learn just by me judging this. I learn a lot.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean that's it. I mean, the entrants are teaching us something, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Because I
is
mean, I find when I see a picture that I just fall in love with, the first thing I want to do is I want to text you and say, how did they get this? Like, how did this happen?
yeah. It's amazing. Anyway, so if people want to sort of stop by and say hello, which a few of you are doing actually, so I'll give you a mention in a second, or ask any questions, or give congratulations to the winners, then do pop it in the chat, and I'll make sure I try and catch up with that as we go through the evening. So I see Bianca Blancs on and says hi, Rob and Gail. Looking forward to the winners. Hi Bianca, hope you're well. Rachel Piper's on. Hi, Rachel. She says, hi, everybody. And Martin Erton is here as well. He says, good evening, Martin, and thanks for joining. Right, let's get on and let's line up the video. So we're going to start with our Young Award winner because it's very early in the morning for him. So we ought to get him on and have a chat with him quickly and let him go to bed. So anyway, our Young Award winner for Airborne is hello, Tamboon.
Oh,
Hello, Debbie.
How are you?
I'm fine.
You're getting used to this, aren't you?
Yeah.
You keep coming up with amazing stuff, so I'm really looking forward to hearing the story behind this. But let me share that image up on the screen with everybody. I was having a bit of a technical bit of brain fade earlier, so let's just hope I can do this without any problem this time around. So let me share that. I hope that comes up for everybody. There we go. Gail, this is pretty extraordinary, isn't it?
It is. It really is. I mean, the bird, the hawk is sharp. The scattering bats. There's enough shape and definition to the bats that you can immediately see that it is bats. I assume coming out from a cave. And this hawk must have been sitting on a tree waiting for them to come out. But Tamboon, you tell the story.
Yes. Like that. The bat come out from the cave. The start day with come out of the cave. I think a million of them come out of the cave that
Wow.
they live in. Yes, and have so much of hawk, and I think falcon too. The hawk will wait in the tree to attack and catch the million of the bats. Yes.
So
When
is this something you see quite regularly?
what?
Is this something you see quite often? This
Oh
behavior?
yes. Every day the bat come out.
Yeah.
So, Tamboon, were you just focused on the hawk sitting in the tree, waiting for him to go, or how did you take the picture?
I focus the in the air is the white, and if the hawk come is can see easy. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't follow the hawk out of the tree. You're just
Yes.
focused on all the bats coming out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really clever. And what I really like about this is the placement of the hawk in the frame, which I think has got a really nice balance to it. And there's plenty of space around it where there aren't any other bats. You see, so you've got this sort of nice separation, and you can just see it's caught a bat in its in its talons here. You can just see that. And as I said, it's the composition here which I think is really clever. It's also the use of black and white here. I've always somebody once said to me that if you're going to turn an image to black and white, then it has to add something rather than by taking that color away, you're adding something extra special to the image. And I think this is a classic example of that. And also your use of high key as well for that. So blowing that sky out, but everything else still being in silhouette, I think is really, really clever.
Oh yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a very impactful image.
So what time of day and how much light and was there when you took this picture, Tamboon?
Have I don't know how to explain it. Please ask me again.
What time of day was this? Was the sun still up, or was it?
It's up to day, because some day the bat come so late. Come like a sun after sunset, but this day is my lucky, because the bat come early, come before the sunset.
So what was your shutter speed on this image?
I'm just going to interrupt because people are saying they can't see the image for some reason. I told you I was having a nightmare with tech. Let me just see if let me just stop sharing that screen for a second, and I'll try and bring it up for everybody again. Hang on a sec.
Rob, it's up. It was up when you said you were going to turn it off. It just came up.
Okay. All right. Let me just do that then. I don't know what it is. I tell you what it is. There was a Windows update which updated Windows Photo Viewer, and I was having a nightmare with it before we started. So it could be that. Can people see that now?
No, I think it's just taking a really long time to load. I'll let you know when it comes up.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll count. It's typical, isn't it? It just came up when I took it off.
Yeah, it did. About 10 seconds before you took it off. Rob, just so that you know, we're in the middle of a lightning and thunderstorm here, so
right.
You may lose me depending on how bad it gets.
Okay. Well, if you disappear, then we understand why.
You know what happened, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Tamboon, you were in the middle of explaining something, I think.
So I asked about the shutter speed. What would your shutter speed have been?
Oh, I can't remember that, but I think up to 1,000 or 1,200 something.
All right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Because I mean, you obviously need something reasonably fast.
Yeah.
To capture the motion, and it was dusk, was it at this time, presumably? So, yeah, and so not that much light. What was the ISO setting? Can you remember?
ISO, I think 6,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's what I like as well, actually, is that you're not afraid to bump that ISO up to get the shutter speed you need. You're not afraid of those high ISOs, which actually, these days with modern cameras, nobody should be afraid of high ISO these days, particularly with all the the noise reduction software out there as well. So yeah, no, congratulations on an amazing image. So I'm hoping that people can actually see this on the screen. Perhaps somebody could leave me a comment.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Let me see what I can.
There it is. It's up. It's up.
Right. Okay. I'm wondering, yeah, I'm just wondering why that's taking a time to load. But anyway, well, hopefully everybody can see it now, and enjoy that image again, because it is a spectacular image, and nobody really wants to see my black-headed gull against the rainbow all evening, which is the background image. Anyway, Tamboon, congratulations again on what is another spectacular image. You keep coming up with them, and I'm interested to see what else you've got up your sleeve in some of the other categories. Let me just read a few comments out to you before we go. So I'll catch up with some of those. So Alan James says hi, Rob and Gail. Hi, Alan. Puna says hello. Rachel Piper. Oh, she just say I don't think I'm looking at the right image. So let's just skip those. Right, so Rachel says, congratulations again, Tamboon. You have an amazing future ahead of you. Bianca Blanc says, beautiful picture. Love the black and white. Yeah, I think the black and white, as I said, really gives it that impact that it needs. I think if there was color in this, it wouldn't have the same impact that it has in black and white. I think you've added an extra element with that, which I think is really, really clever, and it's the sign of somebody who's got a very good photography brain. So congratulations.
Well done. Congratulations.
Okay, well,
sleep tight.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to stop sharing that image. I know people haven't seen it for very long, but I'll put it up on the website, obviously, because I've built the winners page, so I'll make that live sometime, well, either tonight or first thing tomorrow. So do go onto the website and have a good look at all these images, after the presentation, because you'll see them on the website there. So let me just stop sharing that screen and we'll bring you up. Tamboon, thank you so much for staying up so late.
Yes, thank you.
And we're going to let you get to bed, and hopefully we'll talk to you again, another time.
Oh yes, I hope to.
Brilliant. Tamboon, lovely to talk to you again, and sleep tight.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, talk soon. That's an amazing picture. Right. Okay. Well, hopefully we can, we're not going to have so many technical issues going forward, but we'll see. We'll just have to live with it, I guess, this time around. But okay. So next up, we're going to do my Founder's Choice. So Founder's Choice Award winner, you're up next. I need to get the right video to show. Knowing me, I'll do it wrong. Technical things seem to be happening this evening. But anyway, right. Our Founder's Choice Award winner for Airborne is... Gregors.
Hi. Pleasure to be here.
Hello. Thank you for joining. I'm going to bring your image up onto the screen, and hopefully it will appear shortly. Let me just sort that out now before we get chatting. So where are we? Share the screen. So hope Gail's disappeared. Okay. She said she might disappear because of the storm.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I don't think we can see it, Rob.
Right. Okay. Well, it might take a while to come up on the screen. So let's chat. Let's hope Gail can rejoin, because she's in the middle of a thunderstorm. So that's obviously affected the technicals. So it's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it? where things are just going to go wrong. But hey, we'll have to roll with it. So this image is a rough, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The bird is a rough, and I tell you why I particularly like this image. I mean, it's a bird, for starters, and that's got to be, that's always a good thing with me, because you know how much I love my birds. But I think what I like about this is the way that you've split the frame up nicely with that sort of strip of water at the bottom, and then you've got the sky above, which complements that nicely, and then you've got that that sort of the green across that sort of first third, separating the first third of the frame out, and then you've got the silhouettes of the trees, and then you've got the bird perfectly in that sort of area of mist. So it's separated, and you can see light coming through those through those wings, the wings are nicely spread. I just think it gives such a feeling of environment, and there's such lovely atmosphere in this that's why I picked it out. I think it's a beautiful image. So why don't you tell everybody? Can you see it up on the screen yet, or is it still loading?
I don't think we can. The last 2 times when you tried to change something, it popped up. So maybe act like you tried to change something and then.
Right. Okay. Let me see.
Oh, now it works.
Oh, now it works. Okay. All right. Well, maybe it's me putting my cursor over it. I don't know what. But as I said, I did there was a Windows. Hang on, Gail's back. Right. Let me just let Gail back in. We lost you, Gail.
I know, we lost power. We had a huge lightning strike, and the street is dark.
Oh, but you've got your mobile.
Yeah, so I'm on my phone right now, standing by the door.
Brilliant. Oh, well done. Yeah, so hopefully everybody can see it. I think it's something to do with me putting my cursor over the screen. That could be the reason. I'm not sure why, but as I said, there was a Windows update last week, and this photo viewer has changed. Windows photo viewer has changed. So I think that's probably got something to do with it. But anyway, Gregors, why don't you tell everybody how you took the image and where you took the image?
Okay, so this was taken in my beloved place, which is Biebrzα River Valley, which is one of the most known spots for bird watching in Poland. This is actually after the Biebrzα rejoins with Narew, because Biebrzα is a national park, and of course you can't access the area. And I've been photographing there for last 11 years, which is more than half of my life. And it's always been a dream of mine to shoot from the floating height there. And this is exactly the image from a floating height, my first ever floating out outing on Biebrzα River. It's basically this river that's the least destroyed by humans in Europe regarding big rivers, and it has this big area that it floods every year. It's kind of floodplains, you can call it that maybe. And every year rafts migrate through this area. Each year there is less, but it's always been a goal of mine to photograph rafts. And this is a situation in which I, of course, went out 1 hour before sunrise in my floating height, photographing in a water from 2 meters deep to 10 centimeters deep. So it was a hell of a workout. Because I had to go over a kilometer of meadows to reach this spot, which I knew would be deeper. And of course I wanted to shoot backlit, especially when about 45 minutes before sunrise, I saw the mist that was rising above the other part of the floodplains, not where I was, but about 200-300 meters further away. And this was basically, I spotted this area with this tree and the mist. The clouds started to take some nice color. This was, I believe, about 15 minutes after the sun was supposed to rise, but there was a layer of clouds there. And I was basically praying that something would fly or sit through this area. There were lapwings also displaying there. So I was hoping for a lapwing actually. But this raft appeared, and thank God we have animal eye autofocus nowadays in our cameras, and you are able to take flight shots from a floating blind with a camera 2 centimeters above water.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the technology's moved on, hasn't it? Tremendously.
Crazy.
Yeah,
you can see that in the contest as well.
Yes, you can, and well, that's something that I think perhaps Josh and I will do another podcast on. Actually, is how things have moved on. Because as I said, I think people know I got the Z9 fairly recently, so I'm a mirrorless convert, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. The technology, the autofocus. I mean, people are saying
this was taken with an R5, and it's been my last camera for the last 3 years, and I can't recommend it enough. At first, I had it alongside 1DX, and then I sold the 1DX to buy an R6 as a second body because I missed the eye autofocus so much.
Yeah, I'm probably going to sell my D850 actually for the same reason. I just think there's the Z9 is almost a perfect camera.
I mean, it is one less thing to worry about when you're photographing, and one big thing when you're photographing. I'm actually glad you mentioned the water, because in post-production I was considering cropping it out, and there were a couple of 16:9 versions without the water. So I'm glad I made a good choice.
No, I think it balances it nicely. You've also got the reflection of those trees just coming in as well, and I think that you know, that adds something. And you said the bird's in the right place in the frame. So Gail, you know, I sort of jumped in because of your loss of power, but yeah, why don't you give us your views on this image, being a bird enthusiast like me?
Oh, I love it. I think what I like is the layering, the layer of pink, the layer of tree and bird, and then the water. So I'm really glad you left the water. And I think that it would have been a picture if you hadn't. And the bird is in the perfect spot. It really is. I mean, you've got lots of space in front of it, and the mist is behind it. Which is, if you didn't have the bird there, you might miss the mist when you first looked at it, but it draws your eye in. It's a beautiful picture. It really is. And I love the story that you took this from a floating high. I assumed you were lying on the bank of the...
I was actually standing neck deep this time, as it was in Oxbow Lake. Yeah. So the area is basically covered in those oxbow bands, but in the spring you cannot tell whether you're in 10 centimeters water, unless there is some grass growing there, or in an oxbow band lake. And here, because I saw the light and I saw the mist developing, I decided to stop, because luckily I just arrived at the location that I wanted to shoot, because I knew it, and I was in a dry suit, therefore I could be able to be in the water up until my my neck, of course. And I was standing basically on my toes here, trying to keep the floating height as stable as possible and to track the bird flying.
Yeah. Well, you did a beautiful image.
Yeah, so it's amazing you managed to get this with all that going on, because it's so difficult when you're sort of battling with all those other elements to then concentrate on on framing a shot like this. I guess the technology does help, as we were talking about, but
luck also does, because he managed to land in a perfect spot. If he landed 1 meter to the right, it wouldn't compose as well. If he landed 1 meter to the left, you wouldn't be able to even see the bird.
Yeah,
but you have to be there, don't you? I mean, you have to get yourself in these situations to be able to get this fortune, if you like, because if you're not there, there's no chance. So no, congratulations to you for seeing that and all that effort to get into the right place. No, I think it's an incredible image. So yeah, very well done. Very well done. Right, I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Do I dare stop sharing the screen this evening? Anyway, let's do that. We can bring you up large on the screen again. So stop that. No, that's an amazing picture. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else you have for the competition. So yeah, I should keep my eye out.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Thank you so much for your time and coming on and sharing that with everybody. There are a couple of comments coming in before you go. So Luzuka, I probably absolutely butchered that name. I'm sorry about that. But says, huge congrats, Gregor's awesome shot. Bianca Blanc says, congrats, amazing picture. And you get a heart from Naomi as well. So
thank you very much.
There you go.
Congratulations, Ross.
No, it's
thank
an
you
amazing
so much
picture.
for selecting the image.
Yeah, amazing picture, and it makes me sick with jealousy. It's really so. Great, lovely to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll talk again. And so thanks for coming on and and sharing the story with everybody. And so congratulations again on the on the Founder's Choice. And obviously that picture will go forward into the final with with all the other winners at the end of the year. And who knows? Who knows? Right, lovely to talk to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Well done.
Oh, some amazing pictures coming up. Right, where are we? Right, we've got one more guest tonight, who's our Bronze Award winner. Our Silver and Gold Award winners unfortunately can't make it. Well, The gold award winner, possibly, but both are away with limited or no internet access. So that's a bit of an issue, right? So I'm not expecting to see a gold award winner, but you never know. We'll see what happens. But so bronze award winner, we'll be talking to you next. So let's line up that video. So our bronze award winner for Airborne is... Good evening, Simon.
Hi, guys.
And welcome. Welcome. I'm going to bring your image up because I'm going to start this process off early just in case we have the same problem with these things loading. I don't know what's going on, so apologies for that. But let's just share this screen and bring that up. I guess you're not seeing that yet.
No, it's up. It's up.
It's up. Great stuff. Right.
Perfect.
It's another bird, but there's no surprise being airborne, I guess. Gail, start us off with this.
I absolutely love this picture. There's nothing that I don't like about it. Usually I can pick apart an image and decide, oh, well, this could have been better. But I think what really is the best part of it is where the bird is placed. I think it's just perfect. And the fact that there's not as much water where the dip is, so it really stands out. It might have gotten lost if the falling water behind him had been as thick and as busy as the right and left side, but it's perfectly placed. It's a very dynamic frame, and there's sort of a yin and the yang, with the dipper moving and the water falling. It's just a really, really nice image. I wish it was.
It's amazing. This is another one that makes me sick with jealousy. I mean, I have seen a lot of dipper images in my time, and I've seen people trying to do this shot, but I haven't seen this pulled off as well as this. I mean, this is top draw stuff. It really is an amazing. When I saw this, I just honestly, I almost cried because it's so good. And I really want. I mean, if I'd have taken that, I'd have sold my camera gear and gone, well, there's no way I'm going to take anything as good as that again. It is a stunning shot. I think Gail said it virtually everything, to be honest with you. And there's not a lot I can add. I just think it's it's a stunning shot. And what it really does is it shows the bird perfectly in its environment. And I think when you tell a story like that, and you do it in such an artistic and skillful way, I think that's what everything sort of comes together, and that's what makes a really, really successful image, which this is. So, Simon, congratulations! It's a very deserving bronze award winner, and an image we talked about for a long time, during the judging. Why don't you tell people a little bit about how you got the picture and the sort of story behind it?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the nice words. So the spot. So I think the image is made by the spot, more or less. So I knew the spot for a few years now, but hadn't much time to go there and try a few things out. And yeah, so last year I finally had some time, and yeah, I went there and was looking for the dippers if they're nesting, and fortunately they were there. And yeah, so I tried a few angles, and yeah, I decided to go for this kind of frontal or front shot. And yeah, as you can see, the dipper is bringing some nesting material within the cavity, so it's breeding right behind the waterfall. And yeah, so I set up everything on a tripod and pre-focused everything. And yeah, at the beginning, I thought, okay, maybe I could get a shot with some teleconverter a bit wider away, but it's almost impossible to see the bird through the lens and then trigger the camera. So you are always too late, and this is why set the camera on a tripod and aim for the remote shutter and position myself a bit further away. And every time I see it was coming, I was hitting the shutter and hoping for the best. So hoping that it will stay in this, where not that much droplets are in the frame. And it's a bit more dark. And this was the plan, that the bird will be placed there. And fortunately, it worked out. So
I mean, you couldn't have placed that bird any better in the frame.
So it took a few tries, because let's say the dipper comes maybe, I don't know, every half or maybe every hour, depends on. And there were a few tries where it was higher or lower, or it was not already in the frame. So this took a few runs.
Yeah. So what camera were you using? I'm just wondering about how many sort of frames you were getting a second and that sort of thing. So
this was a Z9.
Yeah.
So 20 frames per second. And even though in this time we have a lot of frames per second, even 20 is a bit less here. So I wish for more, but
Well, I suppose you could have got 30 if you'd have taken it in JPEG, but we always want more, don't we, as photographers? We're never happy.
We're never satisfied.
Exactly. 5 years ago, if you'd have said, you'll be doing 20 frames a second in RAW and you're at 45 megapixels, you'd be going, no, that's not possible. And now we want more.
Exactly.
But no, I think this is a really good example of, yes, the technology has really helped you with the frame rate, and and obviously you've manually focused this, presumably.
Yes, exactly.
And also I know that the Z9 comes with that pre-capture now as well, doesn't it? Although you can't do it in RAW, which is rather annoying, actually. But I know you can do that, which might help in these sorts of circumstances. So if people don't know the sort of pre-capture, the sort of idea behind pre-capture is that it's as soon as you've got the shutter half to press, so if you were autofocusing, you're half to pressing the shutter, it's already buffering images. So when you press the shutter, it records that sort of half a second or whatever before you actually press the shutter. So if you had something that was just about to take off, for example, you're not going to miss those shots. And that's something that I know that OM system, with the OM1, that does that as well. With they could call it Pro Capture, I think. So you've got all those sorts of bits of technology, but even with those, this is so difficult. I know, because I know this species, I know how difficult this is to take. Which is why you made me sick with jealousy when I saw this, because I just thought that's taken some time to get. That's an amazing picture.
At the beginning when I first tried the shot, I used a different lens. I used a 100 to 400, but I had to wait for let's say overcast day, because the spot is kind of a valley, and so there's no light at the morning or in the evening. But with the aperture of 5.6, I got in, let's say, uncomfortable areas with the ISO, and then I had to
what were you at? What was the ISO at for this shot?
I think it was around 4,000, something like this. I don't know.
That's nothing for the Z9.
But this was with not with the 100 to 400, so this was with the 400 2.8. So
right,
this one
you got a bit more light.
Would be 16,000, something like this, or even higher. As I said, it was in the, let's say, region which the Z9 can handle, but with 2 stops more, it would be a bit noisier. And I had the lens with me, so
well, why not? No, it's an amazing picture. So let's just catch up with some comments. So Malos Wixon, hi Mal. He said, hi Rob and Gail, a little late to the show, but here now. Chuffed to have made the top 100 at last. Yes, Mal, I did see that, and congratulations on your top 100 listing. Well done. I know you've been trying for a while, so yeah, glad you got some images in there. Bianca Blanc says, congratulations, Simon, very beautiful picture. And Mal again says, a cracking image, Simon. It certainly is. So it certainly is. And Mal will know this species as well, I know. So yeah, he'll know how difficult this is to do. I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and we're going to bring you up larger on the screen for everybody. Simon, though, congratulations again on an amazing picture.
Thank you.
And I'll send you a copy of the Wild Art book, which is the prize for bronze. So I'll send you an email and grab your address details and get that off to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for choosing it.
No, it's an incredible picture, and obviously that will go forward to the final as well at the end of the year, and we'll discuss that with all the other winners. So you never know, it could be in the running for Wild Art Photographer of the Year. But Simon, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you for your time. And,
thanks for having me.
And thank you for the story behind the image. It's just fascinating, and keep coming up with stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks, Simon. We'll speak again soon, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Honestly, it's just some cracking stuff in here. Some cracking stuff. Right. Where are we? We've got to our Silver Award winner. As I said, we haven't got anybody else lined up to talk to because both our Silver and Gold Award winners are out of internet range. They're away, which is a bit of a shame, but it's one of those things what photographers do, isn't it? Get out in the field and go to wild places. But anyway, so our Silver Award winner for Airborne is right. I'm just going to line that image up and hopefully you'll tell me when this appears. Share the screen, Rob. Come on. Right. Does that come up?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Gail, share your thoughts about this picture.
Well, actually, as I see it now, I'm thinking there's a lot of similarities between this picture and the other one. It's that, the long stalks going up, the bird, is the bird, I'm on my phone because of the power outage here. So is the bird moving up or down?
Down.
Yeah. So you've got that down thing going. And it's very dainty. The tops of the plants are very dainty and they sort of break up the linear stalks. It's just a really cool picture. And again, not an easy one. And to get, and I have a feeling that it was sort of the same thing, manual focus on the grasses and then wait for the bird up and down. But it's just gorgeous. And again, the monochrome feeling. But and did you find out if that was a reed warbler or not?
I think it's a reed warbler. I've got some words from Eliza, which I'll read, to everybody. But it's in the Danube, so it could be I think it might be Blythe's reed. Could be that in the Danube. But somebody will know. better than me. But it's in that delta area. But I think as you were saying, similar to Simon's image, you've got that nice little channel in the middle where you haven't got any of the reed stems, and the bird is coming sort of down the middle of that. So I think the composition is very bold with it almost at the bottom of the frame, but I think it works so well. It just works so. And I'm struggling to think of another image that I've seen that's similar to this, and I can't think of one. So I think that's what makes things stand out to judges as well, isn't it? When you see something that you've not quite seen before, I think that really makes things sort of stick in your brain, and that's what you need when you're entering competitions. You need something that judges haven't necessarily seen. So if you're going to places that other people visit regularly and taking the same sorts of things, you're going to have to take something pretty spectacular stand out. Whereas if you have a different approach to something and show judges something that they, approach they haven't necessarily seen before, that's what makes things stick out. And I think that's what this image does, isn't it? It's, technically it's very, very accomplished, but it's also very, very different.
Yeah, and it's got a very Japanese style painting look to it. Just the fine lines, you can imagine brush strokes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like wallpaper, isn't it?
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah. So
it's really cool.
Let me just, hopefully you can still see the image. I've just clicked on my screen so I can read the email. It's still there. Good. Okay, so Eliza sent me these words, which I will read out to you. So this photograph was taken in Romania in the Danube Delta area, a mix of rivers, canals, marshes, lakes, and islets that give life to a wonderful protected area that houses one of the largest reed beds in the world. The reed bed consists of vegetation that is perfectly adapted to a difficult environment, characterized by muddy ground, and is the habitat of many species of birds that use this environment for feeding, nesting, and resting. I observed the reed bed to photograph the passerines that make their nests among the stems of the reeds near the water. They fly low and move among the reeds with bounds and flutters. They go up the stalk, sometimes assuming acrobatic positions. It is often easier to hear their singing than to see them and be able to frame them with a freehand telelens. In this case, a lucky shot froze the dive with closed wings of one of them, which returned to hide or feed among the reeds. I thought it was the perfect image for the airborne category. It is a great honour for me to receive this silver award. I would like to thank Rob for the perfect organisation of the competition and the jury who chose to award me. I consider myself lucky to have received this prize from you. Well, it's our pleasure, because this is a beautiful image, and it said something different. And that's, if you do something a little different and it's technically good, you're going to get noticed in the competition. And I think this is a really good example of this. But I know what she's saying about this sort of species of songbird, these warblers. They are very, very difficult to see to get out in the open like this. And instead, you do hear them more than you see them. So anybody who's been to these sort of areas and photographed things like reed warblers or sedge warblers or these sort of species will know exactly the difficulties, in getting something like this. You have to be very, very patient. So no, this is a great shot. Amazing shot. Okay, so congratulations to Eliza on the silver award, and I'll be in touch with her in due course with the prize and what have you. And of course, she goes forward to the final as well with this picture. So let's stop sharing that screen for a minute. So which brings us on to our Gold Award winner, who unfortunately hasn't been able to make it. He said he might, but obviously internet hasn't allowed. And this isn't a bird, everybody be pleased to hear. This is something a little different. So let me share this with everybody. So our Gold Award winner for Airborne is... Right, let me just bring that image up, and hopefully you will see that. Is that up?
Not yet. Yeah,
now it is. Obviously speeding up. My computer must be getting used to the Windows update. Anyway, so this is something completely different. And I know when I saw this in the selection of images, the entries that came through, immediately I knew that this would be up there and we'd be talking about this, in the top selection. You just have a feeling, when you see something as special as this, that it's going to be up there. So Gail, why don't you tell everybody what makes it so special for you?
Well, I'm like you. When we were reviewing the top 100, this one just blew me away. I knew right away that it was going to be top 3. I love the position of are they dragonflies or
they're damselflies?
Yeah. of the damselflies, and I love the pattern within the wing, and then the bouquet balls at the bottom. I mean, I'm a sucker for anything that's in a portrait orientation. My eye is always attracted to those types of images. And the blues, the color palette is really neat. It's not a monochrome. There's blues, there's blacks, there's whites. There's just enough color to make me very interested. And I really like everything about this picture. And once again, it's one of those images that I mean, I tried to find something I didn't like, and I failed. It was just, I just love everything.
I think it's so delicate, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it's so you feel, because it's such a delicate insect, that comes across in this image, you know, in such a beautiful way. As you say, all those sort of bokeh balls are just gorgeous, and I love that sort of low angle, you know, and as I said, that limited color palette, it just makes it so simple yet so beautiful, and that's what makes it really effective, I think, you know, is the simplicity of this picture. And as I said, I know that all the judges are just blown away with this.
Yeah,
You know,
it really is pretty. I don't know how this is, how I'm looking, but on my phone, I was able to blow it up because it's just so small on the phone.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it, and I also like the reflection of one of the damselflies in the water.
Yeah, no, it's really clever.
Yeah,
It's really clever.
And the other thing that I like too is the different hues of blue in the picture. And there's almost at the bottom, it's almost going towards a purple, and then as you go up, it becomes more and more blue. It's hard. If I'd known I would be offline, I would have looked at this and written down my comments, because on the phone here, it's just so. It's hard to tell, but it is a glorious picture. It really is.
And I think the other thing is that sort of central line, you know, where the water sort of meets the reflection, if you like, you know, or that sort of adds to the tranquility of it, and that's what you get. You have this sort of feeling of the rather dainty insects and the tranquility of the whole scene, and that sort of limited color palette. It all comes together, I think. You know, it's such a beautiful image.
I mean, it does follow the rule of thirds, and I mean, I know the rule of thirds is meant to be broken, but I think where he's placed the that water line is perfect. Yeah, it really is.
It is. Yeah, it's very, very, very clever shot. So it's a shame Sebastian isn't here that we can talk to him about this. But you know, there you go. It's one of those things. And as I said, people, you know, photographers go out and they go to wild places and don't have internet. So but no, this is an amazing picture, which I hope everybody, you know, is enjoying, as you know, and is enjoying as much as the judges did when they saw it. So you know, a fantastic image and a well-deserved gold award, that is for sure. So yeah, we're going to have a hard job when we get to the end of the year and we talk about all these pictures for an overall winner, you know.
I was just thinking that, great minds think alike, as you were speaking. I was thinking it's going to be a long meeting at the end of the year. Yeah.
I mean, there are very, very few times that we all sit down and there's a consensus of opinion on things. You know, normally we all sort of have different opinions on images and have a really good discussion about it. You know, occasionally you get those ones where it's quite often you'll get to a situation where that's the winner. You know, that's the winner. It's head and shoulders above everything else, and we're talking about other places. But yeah, those discussions are always really insightful, and that when we get to the end of the year, there's so many different talents on display, so many different techniques and approaches, and it's a really interesting discussion, and we've got some fantastic stuff in there again to talk about this year already, you know, with a few categories still to go. So it's the standard, as I said, you know, at the start of the presentation, has just been incredible. So congratulations to Sebastian, and you know, on an amazing image. And let's see what comments are coming in. Let me just bring those up. Okay, Bianca Blanc again. I think it's congratulations, Eliza and Sebastian, both amazing pictures. Well, hear to that. Okay, let's stop sharing that amazing picture because we've got some highly commended and commended images to share with everybody. So So let me get to the right video. So let me share with everybody those people that have been highly commended in Airborne. So the highly commended images are as follows. Told you it was hard to sort that lot out.
Yeah.
A talented lot. A talented lot. No, so congratulations to everybody who made that selection. Just some amazing stuff in there. And obviously not all birds. There's a good mix of things in there. Good mix of things. Right, which brings us on to the commended images. So we'll run through those. So I said congratulations to the highly commended. That's an amazing selection. But here are the commended images in Airborne. I'm looking forward to the next categories.
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing color.
I tell you, they're honestly the selection of images that we talked about the other day in color, it's going to blow people's minds. Honestly, they're really, really good. And the standard, as I said, is just been so high. So it's it was another amazing selection of pictures, and it's just a joy to go through them. It really is. And it's, as we were saying right at the start, it's an inspiration. I know I joke about being sick with jealousy, and of course I am, but I find it inspiring, as you were saying earlier. You know, it makes you think about photography in a different way. It gives you ideas to work with the things that you photograph yourself, and taking little things away from the community. I think is always good, and try and experiment and do different things. It's just amazing.
Maybe then we meet, Rob, we need to bring a box of Kleenex and an air sickness bag.
Yeah, I think so. And with eBay at the ready to put our cameras on for sale. Oh, crikey. Right, let's just see if I think there's one more comment coming in. I can see. Maloswick says, congrats, Sebastian. Gail, thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Well, my pleasure. I'm sorry that we lost power, but at least I have my phone, so I was able
No, you had a plan B, which is great.
Yeah, and we still don't have power, and it's still thundering and lightning. So, and now a low battery thing just came on my phone.
Well, we made it through with all our technical woes this evening. Me and my pictures that wouldn't come up. Yeah. I don't know what the hell was going on there, but anyway, we got over it. You and your power cut, but we got there. So thank you. Congratulations
to all of the winners again. Just such a privilege to be able to judge, and look at these images before it gets out to the public. And so thanks to all of our winners and all of the entrants too, because even though we can't show all of them, there's so many fantastic pictures that come into the test. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and if people, you know, are not making the top 100 or whatever, don't get disheartened. Keep trying, because the standard is so high.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get there in the end. And I think that entering competitions isn't necessarily all about the sort of winning as well. And you know, it's a bit cliched, I know, but it is about taking part, and it's about you know, which is what I want Wild Art to be. Really, it's about taking people on that journey and taking of improvement, if you like, or getting people to look at photography in a different way, and trying different approaches, and being a bit experimental. You know, that's what I want the competition, you know, to be about, as well as celebrating all this, you know, wonderful photography. I just want it to be an inspiration to people, because it, as much as an inspiration to other people as it is to me, and it is to you, Gail, because, you know, it's this sort of thing that keeps us going as photographers, and keeps us trying different things. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got all our entrants to thank for that. You know, and there's some amazing stuff that doesn't even make the top 100 that you think, oh, that's a really nice approach to that subject. So yeah, Gail, thank you very much. If you've got enough battery, hang on the line a bit. We'll try and have a chat afterwards. But anyway,
that left.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we might just get away with it. So I better wrap this up quickly then, hadn't I?
Good night, everyone.
Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget that the top 100 for color, hopefully I'll get that out this week, once I've sorted the web page and all the digital certificates. I'll get those out to people, because I've got all that lined up. Don't forget that Abstracts is open till the end of August. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got in that one. Tiny, the judging is underway for that one already, so we'll catch up with that probably in sort of 3 or 4 weeks time. Try and get our top 100 out for that as well. So there's plenty going on. Listen to the podcast that Josh and I did. That's a really good chat with Henley. I think that's probably about it. I think I've done all my housekeeping again. So thank you everybody for joining it, for tuning in and joining us this evening. And thank you for all those lovely comments. It's always nice to see those coming in. Next live will probably be the announcement for the winners of color in sort of 3 or 4 weeks time. So look out for that. I'll keep everybody updated for that. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching and tuning in, and we'll see you all again next time. Let me just line up the outro, might help. So anyway, thanks again, and we'll see you soon.